up, hockey fans around the world? The one and only Mark Spencer is back once again in the broadcast booth, I have to say. It's been a while. There's no doubt in my mind. It has been a while. And I got some breaking news just coming off the ticker. It looks like the Montreal Canadiens have fired their head coach, Jacques Martin, this morning. This is actually breaking news. I'm just checking it out on ESPN.com. So if you want to check out the proof, here's the proof of the pudding, folks. It's amazing, but I never saw this coming. I mean, it's like a lot of things in life. You never really see these things coming, and that's what the decision is. It looks like in La Provence. It's too bad. Martin's one of the great head coaches in the history of the game. The team wasn't getting the job done, so it's too bad. It's too bad. That's what happens. Sometimes it doesn't go your way, and you get fired in the end. So, what can they do now? I think with Montreal, right now maybe they're gonna make a deal. I don't know. We'll see. Does this team need a shake-up? Maybe. Maybe they need to make another deal. Cavalier has been a good pickup for them, but I'm surprised they'd fire Jacques Martin after the loss yesterday. They should have fired him. I don't even think it was Jacques Martin's problem. I think just injuries, Markov injuries, really contributed to the position they've been in this season. It's terrible. But, that's just proof that when you play in a market like Montreal, you have to be the best, and they expect the best. And unfortunately, they weren't getting the best performances night in, night out. So the coach most times gets sacked. We've seen a few coaches get fired. Recently, Terry Murray got fired out in L.A. It looks like, according to some published reports, that Daryl Sutter will be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Kings. Probably next week will be announced. That's the latest on that. And I don't know, man. I got some rumors here. I was looking at them yesterday, but according to some reports I'm hearing, it looks like there's some teams are looking to be making moves here soon. Watch for Toronto Maple Leafs. I heard a rumor that they're interested in Eric Stahl, but Rutherford said no, he would never trade Stahl or Ward. Those are like his two untouchables, and Skinner. I mean, there's talk that there's some teams out there like the Leafs, like the Ottawa Senators, like teams like Florida. Florida playing amazing right now. They could use a guy like Zach Parise or a Jeff Skinner. I mean, guys that can skate like the wind, score like it's nobody's business. I mean, I just can't believe what Florida's managed to do this year. Well, look at the players they acquired at the free agency. They really added some great players. Brian Campbell, Thomas Fleischman. I can go on and on. Ed Jovanovski coming back to the team he began his career with. We all remember the Rats and stuff from 1996 when they got to the Stanley Cup final with John Van Beesbrook. Man, they kind of remind me of that team. They really are. Now with Jose Theodore, Theodore is starting to play the way he played in 2002 when he won the MVP, the Hart Trophy that year, for the Montreal Canadiens. I think he's really found his game. Jose has really found the confidence. He's had some so-so years, last 3-4 years, he's had some so-so years. He's had injuries. Confidence hasn't been there. The belief from the head coach, general managers of some of the teams he's played on, he hasn't really had the confidence of everybody, even his teammates. But now I think Jose's really become that goalie that we all know he can become. What else can I say? I mean, Jose, he's the man. And he shows it, time and time again. He comes through with the big save. What else can I say, folks? I feel if Florida can continue to play the way they're playing, I think they'll get to at least the second round. They look really good this year. They almost look like 96. I mean, they got in the stellar goaltending. You know, maybe they're going to make a small move at the trade deadline. There's been talk of Stephen Weiss. Weiss has played so amazing under Peter DeBoer that I don't think Peter DeBoer will let that guy get traded. There's been talk he might get moved. There's some other players on the team that might get moved. There's some young players on the farm they have. They got Markstrom, the young, I think, Swedish goalie they have on the farm. They could move him. You never know. Every team's looking for a goaltender right now. I even hear Vancouver's Corey Schneider's still available, but they pulled him off the market right now because they're playing so good. Well, actually, they lost the last 2 games. And guess what? Vancouver played Toronto tonight. That one should be a very interesting game. Everybody in Leafland are kind of struggling right now after losing last night to the Buffalo Sabres 6-4. I looked on the highlights and it looked like Dion Phaneuf got a pretty bad penalty. That's too bad, you know. I mean, some players like Phaneuf, they play so physical. And that's what happens. Sometimes if you go all out in a hockey game, sometimes that's what's going to happen. You're going to run into times where the referees are going to start to get tough on you, get hard on you. And that's what happened there. But Dion Phaneuf is a physical player. That's the way he plays. You know, sometimes it's hard to get away from the way you play a more balanced position type of game. What makes the game of the National Hockey League awesome is the big hits. But unfortunately, one of the great players in the league, Chris Pronger, is going to probably miss the rest of the season and the playoffs, and it's official, because of a concussion. I still can't believe that Chris Pronger is going to miss the rest of the season because of a concussion. I mean, this guy's one of the toughest players I've ever seen in the entire league. I remember when he first came up with the St. Louis Blues, and man, he was tough as nails. Then he went to Anaheim. They won a Stanley Cup, you know, and he went to, first he was with the Oilers, and they got to the Cup one year, and then he went to Anaheim, and they won the Cup. I think it was in 07. I just got to admit that Chris Pronger is so important to Philadelphia. I mean, I feel Philly might lose 7 or 8 in a row, and he might come back. I don't think it's possible, but you know Philadelphia. They might have to make a move to get a defenseman, but I still think Chris Pronger will come back this season. Maybe before the end of the season. As we get closer to playoffs, I think he'll come back. Concussions are funny. Some days you feel amazing, and then other days you just can't do nothing. So don't be surprised you see Chris Pronger in the playoffs with Flyers. Concussions are a funny thing. You know, I've had 3 concussions in my life, and it sucks. You do get the headaches, you do get all those symptoms and stuff. But hey, you know, you got to play through it, no matter what. You got to play through the pain. I know it hurts to do it, but you got to play through it, man, or you'll never play again. Just remember, you have to play through it. Look at Crosby right now. He shouldn't play through those concussions. That's the only way he'll get confidence, and he'll be able to take a hit to the head and not really feel the lifetime effects, really, because he needs to play through the head injury. That's the only way he'll get better, is if he plays through it. But who knows? You know, Crosby, thinking long term, it's important. But I think long term, he should have played through the concussion, because, you know, I don't even think he had a concussion. I think he had a little bit of the symptoms, but I think he could have played through it and, you know, played more of a perimeter game. Don't get too involved. Don't try to get too involved where they'll really hit you hard. I think Crosby just needs to take it easy, and in the end, you'll be all right. Well, and some other teams have surprised me this year. I mean, Columbus has been horrible, but they've played good of late. Minnesota's just been amazing. They are the top team in the National Hockey League. Mike Yeo is just working magic. How about Danny Heatley? What a pickup. Mikko Koivu is showing that he's become a leader. And how about Winnipeg going to see Timo Solani tonight in the Peg? He's coming back to the team that he began his career with, Timo Solani. I saw him in an interview and reflecting on the year, and he scored 76 goals in his rookie season. You know, those were the good old days, you know, when you had guys scoring 76 goals, 55 goals, 80 goals. I remember when Brett Hall scored 86 goals in the season. Mario Lemieux, same thing. And then Gretzky scored 92 goals
one year. I was like in the early 80s. So, those days are kind of gone now. It's kind of trap system type of hockey nowadays. You know, I think one way you can probably stop concussions in the National Hockey League is maybe bring back clutch and grab. That will slow the game down. I know everybody loves the speed and the pass and everything, but when these guys are going so fast, when they get hit, they're going to get hurt, and they're going to get hurt big time. So I think for the National Hockey League to probably curve down on the amount of concussions we're seeing, they got to bring back clutch and grab. Hooking and holding a little bit. Not too much hooking and holding, but maybe they have to do that to slow the game down because it's too fast. And unless they bring that back, you're going to see a lot more of these devastating injuries to some of the game's biggest stars and the biggest players. Look at Claude Giroux. He's out too. Concussion. It's just a fluke injury. He got a skate in the back of his head from his teammate. That's totally accidental. Unbelievable. And he got a concussion. So don't be surprised if you see Claude Giroux probably in the lineup maybe after the Christmas break for the National Hockey League. So there's not any other big news other than Jacques Martin. I'm still surprised by Martin firing. That one came out of left field. I never expect that to happen. I don't know who's going to take over. Let's just take a look. Let's see. Oh, Randy Cunninworth, the former Ottawa Senator, will be taking over for Jacques Martin. And Larry Carreri will be his assistant coach. So you look at Montreal's record, 13-12-7. They're the worst in the Northeast Division. Martin's coached for teams such as Ottawa, Florida, and the St. Louis Blues in his career. Cunninworth now 50. He was coaching in the AHL. So we'll see. I don't know, but we'll see what happens, folks. The NHL season's been great. We've seen a lot of great stories so far this season. Some players having amazing seasons like Kessel, Phil Kessel, Joffrey Lupo, the Sedin twins in Vancouver. They're doing good. Burroughs and everybody. Everyone's playing good. Luongo's starting to find his game. Schneider's had an amazing run. I think the Phoenix and Vancouver might make a deal maybe this weekend for Kyle Turris. I hear that Don Maloney is looking to make a move probably by Monday. So don't be surprised to see Kyle Turris maybe become a Vancouver Canuck or become a New York Ranger, or Ottawa Senator, or a Montreal Canadian this weekend. I don't know who's going to go for him, but all I know, the pressure's on for some of these general managers. It's time to make deals. Watch for the Islanders. I think they'll probably make a deal soon. Tampa Bay, they need a defenseman better than a heart attack. I think they should bring in maybe Brian McCabe. Brian McCabe would be a good pickup. I don't know if he would sign there, but I think Steve Yzerman should give him a call and say, hey, you think you could still play Brian? Bring him in. That's the type of defenseman they need. They need experienced defenseman. A defenseman who play good defensively and great offensively. And Brian McCabe can still move on the ice. He's not that old, folks. I think he's, 33, 34. He can still get it done. There's no doubt in my mind that Brian McCabe's still a good player. I watched him playing in Toronto, played in Vancouver, and the Islanders where he began his career. And even with the Chicago Blackhawks. Brian McCabe is still a good player. Stevie Y, I think you should give him a call and bring him back to the NHL. And you look at Marty Turco, he signed with the team out in Austria. I think there's some teams out there that could still use some goaltending. But it's good to see that Marty's playing with a team, and we'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen next, but we'll see you next time, folks. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.